What we do here is go back.
Oh, what's up, everybody? We're here again for the 11th episode of the Oldy Gaming Podcast. I, as always, am Oldy Gaming, and with us, we have a little bit of a roster change this week, but our co-host, Kano Crisco's here, and our awesome guest host who fills in for Sharky when he has to work, Return of Batman 5 is here.
What's up, guys?
So, this week, again, there's not a lot that is going to be happening now that E3 is over. Smaller news is definitely going to be more of a trend in the upcoming weeks up until, I don't even know, for a while now.
I think Gamescom soon, I think.
Okay.
It's like in August maybe.
But
I know because I
basically,
know a bunch of the
yeah. Well, all we're going to be hearing about is like tweaks to games and like maybe smaller titles that have been announced and stuff like that, and like random tidbits of information that we think you might want to know. So yeah, let's get right into it with our first article. It's loading here. But another Xbox One backwards compatible game is available, and it's probably it is a really popular game. It's Tomb Raider Underworld. You guys can't hear that, but there's a motorcycle going by outside. Anyways, it's Tomb Raider Underworld. It's a huge game from the Tomb Raider series. Is the other one on there too? Tomb Raider Legends?
No, it just says that it's a follow-up to the game Tomb Raider Legends.
You can buy it for $20. So if you're a Tomb Raider person and you like to upgrade your Tomb Raider version.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how the Xbox One backwards compatibility program is going to go. Because now that they've announced that they're going to be trying to make every Xbox game backwards compatible, or maybe it'll be a similar situation to this where like only select titles are going to be fully backwards compatible. But I think that with them making a bigger push on backwards compatibility, like eventually they'll just get to the point where they can, I guess, port all of the Xbox 360 games relatively easily, as opposed to having to do just like a periodic release of new games.
They are at the end of the article here. There are 3 other ones. They don't say which one it is. Oh no, here it is. I just clicked the link and there it is. Red Faction.
Armageddon.
Yeah. Gyrus and Raiden 4? Yeah, Red Faction, Armageddon, Gyrus, and Raiden 4. The only one I've ever heard of those is Red Faction. Probably won't be picking it up, but it is going free for August. It's going to be available for Xbox Live Gold members. And they also, GameSpot also makes a comment that the schedule for new games being rolled out is really inconsistent, and I have to agree. It always just seems like we're randomly telling you guys that they're coming out with stuff. And I don't think we've heard anything about when the first normal Xbox game is coming out. Have they? I think it's just 360 games so far.
Yeah, for now, I think if I remember correctly, I feel like they mentioned something that like it's not going to be a thing until later this year, more than likely.
All right. Well, that's a thing. Next topic here. This is probably going to be a real, because I don't really think we have many like conversation pieces. But anyways, NBA 2K18's is completely redoing their My GM mode. Now this isn't a mode that I really played at all. I usually just play My Player. So I don't really know what the big changes are or what it's going to really do to spice up the My GM. It just kind of says there's a whole bunch of new rules that is going to change how the NBA 2K18's My GM mode is.
Yeah, I played a little bit of the My GM mode on 2K17, and it seems like this one, what they're really going for is like actually giving like, instead of doing just like player choice as far as like, who's at, it's going to be actually like, it says like, navigating like the backroom conversations and things like that. So when players want to be traded, like they're going to come to you and talk to you about it. Like, so I think they're going to give you the opportunity to try and like, convince them to stay or not be traded, things like that, where actually it's more realistic to what a regular GM has to deal with, as opposed to just having to worry about what the line.
I don't really understand why people like that version. Like, why would you not want to be the star of the team,
It's just like it's a twist off of like a franchise mode where you can like take a team and make them really good. You know what I mean? Take a crappy team and make them really good. I don't know if they still have this feature in it, but I remember playing it in either last game or even back into like 2K16. And the reason I stopped playing it was because I had a team that had like a couple of superstars on it, traded for I think like Steph Curry, but instead of giving up my superstars, I literally gave them like a couple of people and then paid like 2,500 of the game's credits. And you can like convince the coach of the other team or like the GM of the other team to like trade you the player because it's a good investment. And I thought that was kind of cheap because it's an offline mode. But My GM is offline, I'm pretty sure. Like it might track scores and stuff, but the offline so that you can kind of get away with doing stuff like that. And that's when I lost interest in it because you can essentially cheat to have the best team possible as long as you have the cap space for it.
Yeah, that reminds me of when you used to be able to do like season modes in past games where you would play like one season and you could just you could offer trades, and then at the end of the trade it would be like you just want to automatically make this trade go through. So I remember doing it when Shaq was like was still a superstar and everything, and I remember I traded him to the Cavs for like who was it? What the hell was that Marshall's name?
Daniel Marshall.
Yeah, Daniel Marshall. I traded Daniel Marshall for
that guy.
For Shaq. And it let me
honestly,
just automatically
I see the value. It's a great pickup for the Heat.
Yeah. Right. It also says, sorry, I took a drink of my pulp. It also says here that they're launching NBA 2K18 for 360 and PS3. I didn't realize that games were still being made for those consoles.
Yeah, honestly, even on PS2, no, they'll make games on it for, especially sports games. They'll make a lot of sports games on it because what they'll do is they'll just keep the engine that they have for like probably like 2K17 and they'll just maybe polish it, if even polish it up. just do like a roster update essentially. But I mean PS2, I'm pretty sure like PS2 had some sports games made pretty late into like that's like 5 years, I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't surprise me that 360's probably. I mean, they'll probably have more games made for the next probably 5 years, I bet. But nothing like crazy, just like sports games.
It's also a funny thing to note that 2K18, the cover is going to be Kyrie Irving in a Cavaliers jersey, and he might not even be playing for the Cavs next year. So
No, they said they'll update that before. Oh, well, I mean, I guess if he gets traded in season, there's nothing they can do about it. But if he gets traded before the game comes out, they'll just update it.
no, don't.
Yeah, please
Actually,
keep that
do.
Cavs jersey on him.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get traded, but I think he's going to.
I hope not.
All right, let's move on to the next little tidbit. This is like I said before, this is going to be a quick show, I think.
Yeah,
Under like a half an hour.
Honestly, the summer is the worst time for games because, like you said, like you're in between, like you're just in between Con and E3 and then the holiday release schedule for games, and literally just nothing happens in the summer.
So this is a cool, I guess, tidbit of information just to make you smile or something, but Battlefield 1 has officially hit 21 million players. Now, what I don't understand about this is it 21 like new players, like 21. What's the word I want to say? 21 million.
It's like unique players.
Yeah, unique players, or is it just they've had 21 million play? It's got to be unique.
Because because if you think about it, if it's players, like it can't be like
at the same time.
Yeah, like it can't be. Well, no, it can't be. Yeah, it has to be unique players because if you think about it, like they probably sold 10 million copies. That means if they were doing like 21 million players, then but I feel like for the number of copies that they've sold, like it makes sense that they are hitting this milestone.
All right, cool. Next thing is actually something to talk about. And maybe Batman can chime in here. But if you know anything about Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, this isn't the first of the Hellblade series, is it?
Um,
I'm not sure. So. I'm not sure, but it seems like it wouldn't be the first one. But again, basically what it is a thriller game where I don't know, because I couldn't really hear what whatever the thing was that was narrating in the trailer. It came out with a new trailer and a couple of pictures of the game, and it was really intriguing. It has my interest to see what the game is going to do and what the story is going to be, because I don't think it's going to be much more than just like a story. There's no really like PvP aspect to it. But yeah. Oh, no. Okay, so it's not new pictures, but there's going to be like a photo mode where you can take sweet pictures of your game. Okay, that's awesome. And usually when you hear about games like that, they're going to look really.
Yeah, it's coming from the people that made not the actual like Devil May Cry series, but they did like a Western reboot like a few years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago on 360 and PS3. So it's gonna be like a hack and slash like game. If it's anything like the DMC game, it's gonna be a lot of fun. The gameplay will be it'll be fast and kind of chaotic, and you'll have different weapons that you can switch between pretty quickly, and you'll have to learn the combos. But it looks really cool.
Creepy. Maybe a little creepy. Have some jump scares in there for you.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet.
What's the game without a good jump scare,
Oh yeah, for sure. That gives you the adrenaline to play it.
Because you never know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll move on because there's still not much to say. I mean, I'm pretty sure all it is that there's like one trailer before. There's like a teaser trailer before it, and then this trailer. And yeah, I think that's it. And then they announced the photo mode as well. So, on to the next one then. We talked about Pokemon Go last week, and the Pokemon Go Fest where they had the legendary Pokemon. Mewtwo, was it? You could catch Mewtwo? Or some...
I believe so. I know Lugia was a part of it, and like Articuno.
I think it was those two. I
Okay.
couldn't remember.
Okay, well,
But
obviously
anyway.
people flew from different places to go. You know, there are still people that really enjoy the game Pokemon Go, and there have been people that flew out there. But I guess at the entrance of the event or whatever, there were people that either couldn't get in or it was taking way too long to get in, and then they couldn't catch the Pokemon, or like there were server issues because they weren't prepared for that influence of people to be on their servers in that moment of time, wherever they were in like New York or whatever, Chicago, I think.
Yeah, I was in Chicago.
So they're actually getting sued by. It said, was it in a couple of hundred people?
No, it's like 20 or 30.
Okay.
Again, that's numbers. This is one of those situations though where like people who went are gonna find out that like these 20 or 30 people are suing them, and then it's gonna turn into everyone who went to the festival. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, from the article, I read an article last week about it, and I guess it was a pretty miserable experience as far as like actually being able to like play and actually enjoy yourself.
So what I heard is, so it was Articuno and Lugia, but what happened was that essentially there's too many people in one place that crashed the servers. Like, I don't remember exactly how many showed or.
I think it was a lot.
It was like thousands, like tens of thousands of people, like concentrated in one area.
But yeah, it crashed the server because too many people were in one spot, so it was just laggy and essentially broke the internet for that game for like that weekend.
Yeah. Now again, my like I guess my like kind of beef with these people suing them over this is like you had to have put like some consideration into the fact that like this could have happened. You know, it's not like servers crashing and games like overwhelming servers for, you know, is a new thing for this kind of stuff. Like, I feel like if anything, it should have been. I'm surprised that. Actually, no, I'm not surprised it happened. It makes pretty good sense.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering if those people like already have money, because obviously.
All right. Team
Hello.
Avatar is back.
I don't see who your name is. Okay, here it is.
Fire.
We got a follower.
Sword.
Nice.
K the Destroyer 1285, thanks for following and welcome to Team Avatar. Right now we're talking about the Pokemon Go event, and how they're getting sued because some of the people didn't get to catch Lugia or Articuno, and they're not happy about it. What was I saying? Oh, the people probably had money, because like if you think about it,
you gotta have money to get a lawyer.
And it's more people. The article at least is pointing out that it's more people that like flew a great distance. They basically want Niantic to refund the ticket costs for the planes and all that kind of thing. So I'm assuming that these people just have money and they're just trying to get more money out of it, and they're just being whiny little babies.
Show. Yeah, I mean, I get it, I do, but at the same time, it's like, come on. Like, if anything, just let them pay your ticket and be done with it. Like, if they get that back, they should be happy.
Yeah,
truthfully.
Like, and that like not like they could have thought of that. So like the gaming company or the inventor of Pokemon Go could have like thought this was a problem, but at the same time, like you can't account for that. You don't know how many exactly people in one spot or one location or one certain area is going to crash your server. Like, that's not their fault. That
I don't know.
It's not like they did it on purpose.
I'm always confused about how that works. Like, how do you not have enough server space for that? How do you not think that
think-
because they know how many people are playing their game right now, and basically all they should do is account for how many people play their game, because they want all of those people to go anyways.
I think it's less that though, and it's more if everyone's either like on Wi-Fi or on, even if they're on like the LTE network. Like I'm pretty sure they had like almost 100,000 people there. Like it wouldn't, like that sounds about right. So if you ever came down for like a Buckeyes game, like when you get 100,000 people in one city, like it doesn't matter how much server space you have. Like it's just there's so much like like so many signals being put out at the same time that like the data just like can't find the devices. Like your phones essentially become useless in a high pop. Like I don't think would have mattered how much. I think it's less like server dedication and more it's literally just the fact that there were so many people in a concentrated area. And I don't really think that's anything Niantic can really do about it. Like unless they're going to put Wi-Fi boosters out like every 5 feet and really just overhaul the Wi-Fi in the area.
I mean, their server probably holds enough for the players they have, but not in that location. Like it's just an absurd amount of people in one spot. Like
True. All right, let's move on to our next thing. I just want to take a second here to say Ubisoft has plans to fix For Honor, and you know what I say about that? Who gives a shit? It's not going to. It's not going to help this lame game. They're adding like one-on-ones, which who cares?
Ooh.
They're adding 4v4, which I think they would once they add 1v1, it's going to be like 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4. Honestly, that's not going to really do anything. And I guess a seasonal ranked system, a special season play for online multiplayer, which sounds like a ranked system that's, like Overwatch and all that kind of thing. It's just not the type of game you want to play over and over and over again. It's not like Overwatch. It's not like League of Legends. It's
like it's literally an online Dark Souls, like a competitive online Dark Souls. And I get really frustrated with that game, so I know how I would be with this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think for the people that play it, they probably are loving the tweaks. But again, I think they've lost a lot of their fan base because a lot of their game ended up being very like microtransaction heavy.
Yeah, it's not going to bring it back.
No. Like, it's great that they're noticing their games need fixing and need work, but I just don't think that this was the game they should have done it on. There's plenty of other games that they have out that need more fixing and need more work put into than this game. And like Oldy Gaming said, like, this game is not really gonna go anywhere from where it already is. Like, I think it's only going to get worse. Yeah. So, I mean, they do have the right mindset, so good for them, but they need to choose the right games next time, because I don't think this is going to bring back the game. It might help it for a little bit, but then it's just going to die off again. And quick,
it honestly makes me think. It honestly makes me think, like, how are they? Are they using the money that they made from selling the copies now to do this? Like, how are they paying these teams to get this? Because there's no way they're making that much money in microtransactions.
When the game first came out, I mean, their game was really microtransaction heavy because they're like CEO or whatever, like their lead producer for Honor. Like I remember, I'll never forget. It was the article where he said like, even like unless you're gonna use microtransactions, you'll never unlock everything for every character. Because like it would take so much time to accrue to go through and and if you're a completionist, like you want to go through and unlock everything, like it should be an attainable goal. And the guy just said, like, for the amount of time you'd have to put in for each arc, like character archetype and all that stuff to actually unlock everything, which makes me think that they probably had a lot more microtransactions happen, even if it wasn't for like, maybe you had like your 2 or 3 favorites that you would just buy everything for post game or like post launch.
Okay. But I still don't like. I don't know. I don't understand it. That's why I'm not in charge of money, and I'm not an accountant or anything, because I don't know where the money comes from, and I don't know how they would. How do you even like budget? Whatever. Moving on. So if you are an Xbox Gold member, the month of August is going to be awesome for you because you get 7 free games that if you download, you get to keep forever. And I'm going to list them off real quick here, and we're going to talk about the ones that I would suggest. First one, Dead Rising 3. Second, Dirt Rally. Limbo, Metal Slug 20. Pharaonic? I don't know how to say that. It's Pharaonic. So Many Me, and Ultron. And out of those 7, I'm going to put Limbo at the top and then probably Dead Rising 3 right underneath it, and all the other ones. Other than like Dirt Rally, I don't know what the other 4 are. I guess I could look at them. But definitely the number 1 game that you're going to want to pull from here is Limbo. You're going to want to have that for forever because it is a great game.
Kind of got that like dark and spooky aspect to it.
Yeah. It's a side scroller. Puzzle solver, side scroller, platformer. Good stuff. Really well done. Great art style. Pretty creepy, but like not too creepy to where you're going to get like super scared and have nightmares and stuff. What are these other ones? What is Metal Slug?
I've heard of Metal Slug. I've never played Metal Slug. And the other 3 I'm completely lost on. I've never heard of.
Came out in November 18th, 2008. Let's look this up. I'm going to look at these.
It's like
some stuff to talk
it's
about.
like an arcade game.
What number is it? XX.
20.
It also came out on the DS, so you know that's got to be great. Okay, it looks like a fighter. Arcade fighter. Okay, cool. How about Pharaonic? That sounds like a developer.
It does. Sounds sweet though.
That's cool. So it's also a fighter, but it's like an ancient Egypt fighter. That's pretty cool. I like this art style. Here, let me pull it in front of Crisco's face here.
Ah, it's fucked up.
So this is the game. Come on. There's the game. It looks pretty cool. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Theme.
What's next? I'm probably gonna download all of these. I mean, why not? So Many Me.
I always at least go through, and even if I don't download them, I at least go through like the purchasing motion of it, so that because even you don't even have to download the game, you just got to go through and
Right.
actually like start the download, and then you can cancel it, and Microsoft will register that you purchased it.
This is another like side scrolly platforming game. It looks alright. It's more of like it has like more of a kiddie feel to it. You can play with your little children's.
Which game?
And then So Many Me. It looks like you can you're like a orange blob, and you can get more orange blobs to follow you, or it's almost like a snake type thing. Like you pick up more orange blobs and then they follow you, but you got to control them too. Or maybe they just follow you and they, do exactly what you do, which actually could make for like a funny, if you fall off the edge, they all like just fall off the edge
like
with you, or they, they keep going and you're like, what is going on? Yeah. So yeah, that could be fun. Good game to play. And then
I mean, I feel like the platformers, as long as they have like a decent like control mechanic, platformers are usually really fun. Like it's not a game you're gonna sit down and like play for like time, but like you'll probably play it for a couple days, you'll beat it, and then feel like you got your money's worth out of it.
So this Ultratron is a 2D shooter. I don't know if you've ever played I Made a Game with Zombies in it. It looks very much like that.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite games to play. but it looks kind of like that, but maybe like more of a spacey feel to it. But that's definitely going to be another game that I download.
I made a game with zombies in it. Is one of the best games ever.
I know it needs to be put on backwards compatible for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if actually ever, but the game itself is really fun.
So on the I have looked at the list and like how people can go to the Xbox page and vote on what they want to be backwards compatible. And that game, there isn't even one. There's nothing on the list for it, which is disappointing.
Yeah. I think they should make all of them backwards compatible, but that's just my opinion.
I agree, but I just don't think that's possible. They put too much time and effort into it to do that. They would have to put too much time and effort into it to do that. But I mean, I guess we're paying them, $60 a year anyway. So like, what else are they doing with that money?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it ends up boiling down to not just them, but the actual developers themselves. Because like, think about it, if they make, let's say they go through and just for example, they make like a backwards compatible game. Well, Activision then has to go through and like reallocate server space for Call of Duty 4. And I think it's really like a fine balance between them figuring out like, okay, what games can we like, do we want to release and make backwards compatible are okay with us doing that? Like who, like, because for some of these games, they're so online focused that if you were to just do the backwards compatibility, then, you'd never get to play online if they couldn't do it.
Right. All right. Well, those are some games for you to pick up if you like freebies, and you're an Xbox Live Gold member. Definitely go and download those, or at least like queue them and then cancel them, and then you own them for forever. So whenever you feel like downloading them, you can go download them. I guess we'll move on to our next second to last topic. This is, how long have we even been live? We've been live for we at least made it 30 minutes, guys. That's the important part. So if you didn't know or you don't know of Wolfenstein, you need to come back to Planet Earth and get on the Wolfenstein bandwagon, because it is a great game. Basically what happens is it takes place where if the Nazis had won World War II instead of the United States and our good people. And they're coming out with the second one at E3. They announced the second one, and they have recently, as in last week, released a gameplay video, a 24-minute gameplay video for the new Wolfenstein game. And they've also announced a 2-pack that includes, I think it's both. Isn't this the third game? New Order and Old Blood? Actually, I don't know. Yeah, it includes the New Order and its expansion, the Old Blood. Okay, that makes sense. So Wolfenstein 2 is the second one, obviously. And then the first one is called Wolfenstein the New Order, and they also have an expansion called the Old Blood, and it's just been announced that is for sale. It's called the Wolfenstein the 2-pack.
Which, I truthfully, I like that games do that, to be honest. It doesn't, because the way I look at it is, at this point, people are buying the game because they're excited for the new one anyway.
Yeah.
But it is a great opportunity for them, for anyone who didn't play the original, will want to just watch some like summary trailer. They want to actually like experience the game, and then maybe see, maybe some people, their interest is like, okay, well, how did the game change from the first one to the second one? They can actually get like the full hands-on experience with the first one, like get involved in the story, and ends up being a lot better.
Right, because I'm one of those people, and I actually bought Wolfenstein, the first one, for PC on the Steam sale, but I had no idea there was DLC for it, and I don't think I have DLC.
The Wolfenstein itself looks really, really good.
It's so good.
And it's kind of like, I'm watching the trailer for the second one, and it's kind of like considered like, it's kind of almost like a, not as brutal as like a Doom type game, but like
Still fast.
It's
as
more
Doom.
brutal than like, yeah, it's like fast like Doom, but not as like gory and graphic because it's like humans as opposed to zombies. But I'm sure there's a lot of like, I mean, it looks like a really intense game.
There's gore. There's gore, and because you can blow up people's heads and stuff. It's awesome. So it's definitely gory, and it's got like a really fun sense of humor to it too. It's basically Doom without, crazy suits and beat monsters. And well, no, it still has. I guess they're not monsters. They're like robots, and like armored dogs, and people with, a huge set of armor on. It's a really fun game, and I know I have not yet beaten it. I got to a point where I can't beat the boss, and I just get pissed every single time I play, so I'm just stuck there. But it's still a lot of fun, and I would if you really like story mode games, which if y'all know me by now, you know that I don't ever finish story modes. This is one of the games that I actually want to finish the story mode. I just got to buck up and beat the part that I'm stuck at. Batman, anything? Wolfenstein?
Oh, I'm looking at so I don't have it, but I've looked at actually all three kind of now. I was looking at them and watching some trailers on Steam, and they look fantastic. And I've talked to you about it when you've played it, and you said you've loved the first one. So yeah, if you're into that story mode, kind of, I don't know, historically
inaccurate.
Yeah, I was gonna say story buff, but like with a twist. But no,
It's
it just
super
looks like
creative.
a great shooter game. Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me like a Borderlands, just not like futuristic with a post-apocalyptic. I can't even say that word, but whatever.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah, that word.
Post-apocalyptic
World. This is more of. I mean, it kind of is. It's just
if you think about it, it kind of is. It's just like not apocalyptic. It's just dreary and shitty because it's controlled by the Nazis.
Yeah, it's not in the future. It's in the past. But no, it still looks sweet. Definitely looks
still
like a
crazy
great game.
robots.
So when this 2-pack comes out, I might end up picking it up.
Well, I think this game too, though, it pulls. One thing I do think it does pretty well, from what I've read on it a little bit, is it actually kind of pulls from, like the mythology of like World War II. Although most of the facts, like there's a lot of like, well, Hitler was doing experiments on like to literally like create zombies and like you know what I mean, to try and have like they were conducting all of these like crazy experiments and stuff during World War II even, that I think this game kind of plays a lot on that, where it like pushes the idea of like, okay, well, it did work, and like they did create these like superhuman robots, or they did create these like this army of people that were like stronger than your average human type thing, which I think is really cool.
It also says here that you get a $10 mail-in rebate for the new game, the second one.
Yeah, it says it doesn't know how it works, but
which means
it's got that.
You're never getting that $10 back.
Yeah,
because no one's gonna do the mail-in rebate.
But I mean, for $30, you get to pick up 2 games. It's not bad at all.
A game and its expansion.
Sure.
It's not the second one. You're gonna have to pay a full $60 for the second one.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, it's like a second. It's like this the second DLC. Like it describes it kind of as like a sequel in the Steam description, but it's a full 8 new chapters. So it sounds
it's almost like a whole nother game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like it's a legitimate expansion pack.
So for $30, you get to pick up like 1.75 new games, and then potentially money off the next one. But
potential money. It doesn't always turn back into money though.
Yeah.
I just know that even if I did it, I would never use the mail-in rebate. Like I'd probably forget about it or like throw it away or something on accident.
Yeah, my printer, my freshman year of college, I bought a computer and I got a printer with it or a mail, but I had to mail-in rebate, so I paid for the computer, and then I remember I lost the mail-in rebate within like the first day. I had no idea where it was.
Sounds about right.
Yep. All right, so here we're going to move on to our last section of the day. we're going to talk about the Monster Hunter world. I don't know how to say this. Monster Hunter world. Which really doesn't make sense, but whatever. This is a series of games that is basically hack and slashy, cool monsters, a bunch of different weapon types and everything like that. And what the developers did is they came out with, it's 3 different videos explaining all, I think 14 is what they said, 14 different weapon types. There and
Yes.
The 3 videos are light weapons, heavy weapons, and tactical weapons. So yeah, I guess we'll just start out with the light weapons. Do we want to go over all of them?
I don't know. It's a lot. The one thing, and I think this is going to be a cool opportunity for a lot of people that have never played a Monster Hunter game, because I think traditionally speaking, it's been either PlayStation, just Nintendo, has been what a lot of the games have come out on, is those two. So a lot of Xbox fans have probably never really played Monster Hunter. There are games that are similar, but this is kind of like the original type game of this type, where my favorite thing about it is when you kill the monsters, you can actually like harvest like their like scales or their bones or like, you know, whatever the collectible type is for the game, and you actually like build armor based on the enemy that, or the monster that you kill. And so like that's kind of how you progress yourself through the game, is like you start killing like bigger and more and better monsters and crafting bigger and better gear for particular monsters. So I'm excited I didn't realize that this was coming out for the Xbox One and PC, so I just got way more excited for it.
Yeah, it's just Xbox One and PC. Nothing else, I don't think. I guess the only thing we really have to talk about for the weapons is it's got like your standard shield and sword, double-handed swords, and all that good stuff, but they also have like cool weapons like the bow gun, where it looks kind of like if you were to merge a gun with a bow. It's also got like, you know, your heavy weapons are your standard like long sword, which is just like a 2-handed sword, a mace of some sort, although I think they just call it a hammer. But then it's also got like this awesome multi-purpose sword gun thing, where if like an animal comes up to you, you can, you know, slash it up with a sword. But then again, it also has like a machine gun on it, a machine gun can turn into a sniper, which can also turn into like a rocket launcher. And it seems, you know, like you're going to be slower, but you're going to have, you know, packing a punch. And they also have like a javelin in there, or
like a spear or something.
Yeah, what's the thing? A lance, which is really cool. So you have like a shield and this big old lance that you can run around with, and just cool weapons like that.
Yeah,
so it's very diverse.
Yeah, this game, and that's the one thing I've heard about these games. The one thing that's awesome is that because there's such a diverse, like you said, like a diverse number of like weapons and stuff, you can play like your own way, really, like different than most people, because there's so many like monsters out there that even still like lends more to the diversity of the game even. So I don't know, these games are usually really fun, and they usually play very, very well once you kind of get used to the mechanics of them.
Nope, went away. Batman, you got anything to add for us?
I don't know. I just think looking at what they did was a really good move. It's really interesting just to get to see all the gameplay, and not even just the gameplay, but look what's actually going to be in there. Because a lot of places or a lot of shows or a lot of reveals are just like, we're going to give you this, 2-minute clip of stuff that could happen, but that's not even going to come close to what is going to happen in real game. And then they're just like, well, here's going to be what's in our game. Here's going to be all about it. And like the breakdown of, not just characters and classes or missions, just the actual weapons and how stuff essentially works.
And I think they did this. The GameSpot article, they were talking about the reason they did this was because they didn't want new players to feel intimidated about, 14 different weapons. 14, which basically means, 14 different game styles. And I was going to say something else, but I don't remember what it was going to be. Ooh. Awkward silences. Shit, I completely forget what I was going to say about it. Oh, right. The one thing I think it was missing, and hopefully they fixed this in the actual game, is it didn't really seem like there was any blood. And I'm sure it could just be, because they're not trying to demonstrate the blood or anything like that. They're trying to demonstrate the weapons. But I hopefully there's more blood, because it seemed like there was more dirt bouncing around when the character was slashing the monster instead of it hitting really bloody.
I can't remember if this game is rated M or not. I think it might not be rated M.
That's kind of odd. You're bashing the shit out of animals.
Yeah, they're mythical.
That lizard looked like a real lizard, but just really big.
Let's see. Yeah, the one that came out on Nintendo was like their most recent one that came out on Nintendo. Yeah, they've all been like rated teen for the most part. I also imagine there's probably some sort of option where it's like the blood and gore option where like you can go in and like turn it on or turn it off or like turn it up, make it so that there's like more blood or less blood type thing.
Hopefully. All right, I think that wraps it up for this week. Thanks again to Batman for dropping in on us while Sharky the Sharky Funky Bunch and, his name is out. Sharky and the Funky Bunch. And always, Crisco.
Crisco out.